Hi, this is how we usually talk about postnatal issues with mum during the mum and dad, the mums only session. And this is usually how I get changed and then after coffee come into the group looking and dressed like this, because it's quite common, I say, that by the time you get to 5 o'clock in the evening, then you're still looking like this, because you've not had time all day to get dressed, and you've not had time to clean your teeth, and you've not had time to have a shower, and you wonder how on earth you're ever going to have time again for anything like that. And so then we get down on the floor and we discuss all of these topics that are on here. And please excuse, my daughter is filming this, so she will go off a little bit. And so I'm going to sit down on the floor now. And here on the floor, you can see, this is my lovely wee baby. And I often say that really as Dad walks in through the door, mums tend to say, here, take her. I don't know him or her, I don't know what's wrong with them. And so it's Dad's turn to take the baby. Right, and so now, looking at this, I often talk about how pain relief is important in those early days. We do have some sore bits after giving birth, and so don't be scared. Can you watch the camera, please? The paracetamol, safe to take when you're breastfeeding, so don't be scared to take paracetamol. Talking about different things, pads, make sure that they're good thick maternity pads, can you watch it? And those are what you need, that's nice, soft and padded and very absorbent in the first few days, okay? And then after the first few days you can then switch on to your pads with wings and that seem a bit thinner, but in the first few days you need that extra padding, and so that it's nice and soft. And these, if you're feeling particularly bruised or anything, you can pop these in the freezer and then pop them in as an ice pack, and that can be quite nice because they still stay quite flexible. Alright. Coming on to, we've usually in class already covered about the pelvic floor, but this I usually use to demonstrate. These are nice incontinence pads that women use when they get older if they haven't done their pelvic floor exercises. And so we do a reminder about the two different types of pelvic floor exercises. And so that's what we do with those, otherwise you're going to end up wearing these. So then we come to conflicting advice, and it's quite common once you reach hospital after you've had the baby. One of the biggest complaints is about conflicting advice. When you've had one midwife, the same midwife looking after you all the way through pregnancy and the labour and birth, to then have a couple of different midwives looking after you in the hospital means that you tend to come across this problem of conflicting advice. But it's just that you've only been used to one person's advice and one person's interpretation of that advice. So really, it's not necessarily conflicting advice, you just have to see it as different ideas and different things to try, and what might work for you might not work for someone else. So that's what we do. We then come on to looking at breast pads. Quite often the paper ones that are available in the supermarket can get quite dry and sticky to the breast, and unless you want to walk around with 2 wet patches on your t-shirt, then you can look at having some natural wool breast pads that absorb a lot and are washable as well. So you can buy those from one of the midwives in the community, she sells them. So then we look at good fitting bra. This is what I use to talk about a good fitting bra and getting measured adequately. When you get measured antenatally, you should actually make sure you've got a hand space inside your bra, so that it can got room to grow. So you've got room to grow. And what happens is no underwiring, really. No underwiring at all. Okay.